to day 5 of building a startup with this is the Solo Foundry channel on Twitch and on YouTube's. Hello, YouTube's. Man, I loved, what's his name, Ronald Jenkins. Anyway, let me just make sure it's going live. I've had some problems the last couple days. Plus, I'm really new at it. It's actually my first week. So I think it usually takes a little bit of a delay, but it should be going now. Yes. Maybe? Why not? Something like that. It's crazy. There's like no action, no action, no action, and then it's like, hey, you've been live for like a minute. Cool. Anyways, hi. I'm Conroy. So I am a software developer, and I have been helping solopreneurs to build their startups. So basically, people that just have ideas and they just want to go alone and do their thing. So not like a co-founder, more like a coach or a mentor, I guess. Um, and then I realized I have this whole backlog of ideas that I want to try. So that's what I'm doing on this channel, the Solo Foundry channel, and then also trying to follow lean startup practices. So like, what's the least amount you can do to test your idea? And then specifically, even though I'm a programmer, trying to use no-code solutions. So no-code is kind of like this kind of new wave of software products that you can use online that will help you to build either mobile apps or web apps without having to know how to code. So it's pretty cool. I think in the next 5 years, most of the coders will probably end up working on such tools, and then most of the people with ideas won't have to have coders. One of my goals eventually is to have some sort of way to teach people the concepts of programming without going into the syntax of coding. So there still is, even with these no-code tools, you have to think about, for instance, how to lay out, a database schema, or how you're going to store your data, retrieve it, and how it's related to each other, and best practices for different aspects of an application. But not actually having to go in and code like the HTML and stuff like that. Okay, so the last week we've been building a charity application, and that is basically this idea that you can sign up and have like a monthly subscription, and then you pick a bunch of charities that you want to support, and your monthly subscription gets divided out between all those different charities. So I had a bunch of user stories, which are essentially like features, thinking about it from the user's point of view, of things that I thought people would want to do, or I would want to do in my, the big vision of it. It's not too crazy. People can sign up. They can enter how much they want to donate. They want to enter their payment information. Maybe they have a profile that has the charities that they support on it. Maybe they can follow people and have followers. So like if they find a new charity, they can promote it to their followers, being like, "Hey, this one looks really cool. You should check it out." Getting emails before they're going to get charged and stuff like that. Integrating social media so you can add people, so you can quickly transfer some of your Facebook friends or Twitter followers, Instagram followers onto the platform. And then a way for the charities to log in and pick the way that they want to be, set up their bank account and stuff like that so they can get their direct deposit. And then this is the one that I'm super actually interested in, this index fund, which is like being able to say something like, so I live in Juneau, Alaska, so being able to say like Alaska, animal shelters, right? So there's probably a whole handful of them around the state. I could support just the local Juno one, or maybe even like, so I was down. I do the digital nomad traveling around thing. So I was just recently in Mexico. I got back a couple weeks ago. I was down there for when COVID kind of started going haywire and kind of sheltered in place until it seemed like it was, um, reasonable to come back to Alaska. But yeah, so supporting like dog shelters, animal shelters, in the Quintana Roo province of Mexico, which, even so, I was in the city of Playa del Carmen. There's a whole bunch of shelters there, but I wouldn't necessarily know that. You can kind of find some of these people on Facebook. Sometimes they're on different giving sites. But an index fund would just be like, dog shelters. And you could have like 100 different charities that you support automatically. Anyways, I'm super interested in that. I have no idea if any other people would. That's part of the test that we're supposed to be doing as part of Lean Startup. Yeah, some miscellaneous stuff. So we were going through yesterday and we did some Wireframe Pro prototyping, which might crash the stream. It crashed it twice yesterday, but hopefully not. I have killed a bunch of applications and done some cleanup and stuff, so maybe it's just a glitch. Let's cross our fingers. And to be fair, I don't think it's this Mockflow. I think it's actually OBS. The streaming software here is eating all of my poor little computer's CPU. Yeah, I think if I keep streaming, I'm gonna have to get something a little bit beefier that doesn't like freeze and glitch out. But that's a good problem to have. So yeah, so entering a donation amount. These are some of the I guess the mockups, user experience mockups that we did yesterday. Entering a donation amount, and then the business model of this whole, um, product, service, platform, whatever, is that people can voluntarily donate on top of the donation that they were going to give to the other charities. So some sites, like Kickstarter and stuff, take a percentage of what was raised. So I don't want to take it away from the charities, and I don't want to automatically make people have to pay. So at least for now, trying out the add 10%. Picking charities from a list of maybe these are like popular ones or featured ones. This is kind of the onboarding flow, right? You could like add, there's 12 of them here. You could add like 4, or all 12, or just one. Recommend one for us to add down there. Enter your payment method, and then you get a success page that just has like your receipt. Yeah. So that's what we did yesterday. And then we were looking around and saw that Typeform actually has such a thing. Typeform has a Stripe integration for payment. Typeform payment. Is it this one maybe? There was like this video that they had, which I don't think the sound came through yesterday, but pretty cool. So I encoding overload. Maybe that's what's been going on. Let me close this for a second so that it doesn't do that weird mirror thing and change some of these settings. I honestly don't really know anything about any of this, so just letting you know. Just letting you know. Okay, we'll see if that helps at all. We'll get back to that. Yeah, so I signed up for Stripe today. and I forgot to sign up for Typeform. But before we do that, so we know that that's one option, is that you can do Typeform, sorry, not Stripe, definitely Stripe, but you can do Typeform payment. Here he is, yeah, the payment block. And what I thought was cool is that you could, I'm going to mute this because it's hard to talk over at the same time. That's the Stripe part. Yeah, so you can like add in, you know, for each one of the charities, right? It could be, we just divide it by the total number of charities or something like that. Or like it would just be like, these would be like check boxes. You could pick multiple ones. Because I think they had an example back here. Yeah, right here. Right? So imagine that these were, instead of saying pick your favorite shirt, it was like choose which charities you want to support. And this is just for the prototype, right? The MVP of saying like, instead of, the hypothesis is that uh, we all mean to donate and support different charities. We have a finite amount that we can donate, and we want to help as many different groups as we can. So finding out which groups to help, and being able to remember to do that on a regular basis without having, a whole bunch of different charges every month and tax documents to take care of and stuff. And ditto from the charity side, being able to have more supporters, um, without having to, issue a bunch of those tax documents. So that's the idea. But to start out, really what we can see is, I think one of the biggest assumptions, and this wasn't even in the assumptions list, which we had made over here. Let's see. I guess it's not one of the recent ones. Assumptions. Okay, no, it was this last one. Will people trust giving money to a random site rather than like directly to the organization? So I don't know, and I think that's something that we can test, and I think that's a huge one to test. Yes. Anyway, so back to Stripe. Yeah, so you can then, or sorry, to Typeform. You have like this price variable, right? And you can enter your credit card infos. But then, so that was the plan today, even though it's already been like 15 minutes in. The plan today was to set up the Typeform and get a domain and stuff like that. Even though I keep putting off getting a domain, I don't want to have to name this. Just keep calling it the charity app. But there is this other thing called Webflow, which I have been wanting to check out, and I've heard people putting together stuff on here. So it's a web design tool, but it's got more than that. It's got like functions in it, which is pretty cool. So like Wix and Squarespace and like all these other things, right? These like drag and drop web page things are cool, but I think Webflow, if I have the right tool, I think it's got some extra stuff. Let's see. And I don't want to spend too much time, but okay, component library, launch. Maybe I'm not thinking of the right one. Okay, so there's this site called MakerPad, and what is there? Is it .co? And they're a cool site, and they have a good list of these like no-code tools. But what frustrates me is that it is a paid list. It is a sponsored list. It is not organic. So if there's not something on there I don't trust, that it's because it's not a good tool. It's because somebody didn't pay, or at least that's my understanding. And then they want you to have like these, they have like courses and stuff like that. Maybe that's cool. Maybe it's worthwhile. I don't know what a build bootcamp is. Maybe I have can give this to. I have a friend that's a product manager that's trying to code. This is pretty cool. And I don't mean to talk bad about them. If they've changed it and that's not the way it is, then that'd be good. They were trying to figure out their business model. They're not that old of a company, like less than a year, I think. Um, okay, so basic no code, multiple side projects. Sorry, I'm getting lost here. I'm trying to find the tool that I'm thinking about that lets you have like functions on the web. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So ShareTribe, Webflow, Card. I've heard of Card. We were just at Webflow. Um, because there's some that are not in that list, like um, Ada, Adalo, and then there's also like DraftBit. So there's another. Dang, it's getting really, really slow. Um, NoCode List, I think, might be what I'm thinking of. And to my knowledge, this is not a paid one. Cool. So if we think about these charities as like e-commerce things, maybe because I thought about doing it in Shopify. But the time box is for another couple minutes, and then maybe I should just go back to doing Typeform because you can like embed a Typeform on another site. Subscriptions. I'm gonna take out the e-commerce part. Pico. Oh yeah, Substack. I use that for my newsletter. I didn't monetize it, but it's pretty cool that you can. Okay, so Webflow. That might be more granularity than I need at this moment, honestly. Augmented reality, nope. MailChimp, nope. Hold on, go back up to problem. Creating workflows. Pretty cool. Voice flow, that's awesome. It's like voice bots, I guess. Definitely Bubble. Bubble is really cool. It has like a learning curve, but it gives you, there's so much power. You can like build like anything on Bubble. It's pretty neat. But it's more than we need at this moment. Oh yeah, so Airtable. I don't think Airtable does subscriptions, because that could be interesting. Let's see what some of their blocks are. So it's basically like, I don't know, it's like you could take the same data and represent it in like a million ways, like a spreadsheet or like lists or maps or whatever. Um, Airtable payment. Which ones are these? We should probably close some of them. What is MemberStack? And what is JetBoost? Dang, there are so many of these. Okay. I think we have. Oh, let me go back to the landing page. Let's take away subscriptions and do landing pages. Conversion focused SaaS landing page builder. There's so many of these tools. I could spend like the whole day looking at them. But I think that might be more time than I should spend. But that's exciting. So really, at the end of the day, what I'm looking for is some sort of info page and then a way for people to like, pick the charities and donate. So pretty cool. Hmm. That could be pretty interesting. Cool. Dang. There's so many of these. It's awesome. A little overwhelming. Builder.io. Hmm. This is an example of how like it's crazy how quickly we like make snap judgments about whether we want something or not. It's like I might not even understand what the differentiator here is, but I'm like, meh. Oh man, it's pretty funny. Gumroad sells digital things. Landbot. Chatbots. Thunkable. I think I've heard of this one, but it's like actual code behind the scenes, which is awesome. Dang. That's pretty magical. Oh, it's so slow. I clicked on the X while it was loading. So I'm going to close some of these. What do we get on Airtable? Stripe accepts payments over the internet with Stripe. I guess what I was hoping is that with this integration, you could like um, have, I don't know, some sort of Airtable form, and then you could have a Stripe payment on it. But I guess that's what we're talking about with Typeform anyway. Webflow. Don't they have like functions? I was so positive. I guess not. Hmm. Let's see what this is about. Because maybe we could just add a checkout. Stripe test cards. Hmm. Interesting. 424242424242. Outseta.